Yeah, okay, this is a quick video I'm going to put together here to help anybody out who's a little dumb-fucked over the transmission filter seal. Or they get that in the kit and they don't realize what it is, and they're like, oh, what the fuck is this? And then they don't use it, because a lot of people bypass that step. Now, let me show you, okay? Here's the one I already took out, and you're going to see why that kink's in there. But around the top here, do you see like how there's like that black piece and then the rest of it's like a, what is that, like a soft brass, or it might be steel, that's just coated. But at any rate, that little seal up there, it's got like a rubbery piece to it, and over time, that gets to where it wears down. So even if your transmission filter doesn't fall out, which is like the worst case scenario, you could still have where when you're under high RPM, you know, and everything's recirculating, you could have like air siphoning in there, and it's just not ideal. You know, it could lower the life of your transmission. But at any rate, what I wanted to show you, okay, to get those out, your instinct tells you to use a pick tool, and that could work, but I mean, this fucker's in there. You know what I mean? So unless if your pick tool's got some really good leverage and you're using a fulcrum and everything's just right, I think it's quicker to use a screwdriver. So what I do is I use a flathead, kind of like a medium-sized one. Definitely not too thick, but not so thin that it's going to get fucked up when I hammer it. But let me get up in here, okay? So as you can see, there you are. Pan's off, gasket's off, filter's off. That's it right there, okay? And as you can see, I've already put in the new one. What I do to remove that, let me try to look around my camera here. I come from the back like that, and I try to hold the screwdriver on just enough angle. You know what I mean? I hold the screwdriver, I'm right-handed, with my left hand, and I hammer with my right hand. And what I do, and of course, again, have the angle right so you don't fuck up the aluminum. If you do, it's not the end of the world, unless if you really fuck it up, but that probably won't happen. But at any rate, once you crush the side in, like that, okay? All you have to do, I couldn't even fit a tripod in this area very good if I wanted to. All you have to do is literally put the screwdriver in and do like that. And you'll see it comes out pretty effortlessly once you do it that way. So, hopefully, we're not done yet. You got to put the fucker back in. What I do, I lubricate real lightly with transmission fluid. You know, this inner part. And I definitely do all that black lip where the shaft on the filter is going to slide up. And basically, you can take it, you can 3-finger it and push it in there and get it just started enough because of the taper to where it'll kind of stick in place. I take a socket. I guess if you got a punch set like a seal driver, you could use that. But let's see, I'm using this double-sided impact, 3/4, 13/16, just because it's got that thick wall and it fits pretty damn good. And then I put my little tiny small little 2-inch extension on there. That's 3/4 of an inch, by the way. It doesn't have to be. And I just basically pound it up with that, hit that side with the hammer, and you're good to go. So, maybe one day I'll actually make a video of swapping the fluid out, but it's pretty straightforward. You know, you just take off all the perimeter bolts and let it drain. If I was smart, I'd have a much, much wider square or rectangle sized pan. I've just never gotten around to it. I do it with the pan and then the catch pan, and it's sloppy, but it works. I don't do it too often. I do it on this 06 Grand Prix, I do it about every 50,000. I'm at 290. I would do it at 300,000, but my fluid was starting to look a little gunky and smell a little bad because I was basically hot rodding it and doing 100 through the mountains, which is kind of rough on it, but it's fun as fuck. But at any rate, hopefully that helps somebody out on that seal, because that seal is literally the only challenging part. Oh, one more thing. The gasket kit will come with the gasket, but that's reusable. The factory gasket's reusable, and when you compare them, you're going to see that the new one's rubber and it's shit, and the old one's rubber, but it's got a steel core and it's also ribbed. So basically just clean up the old one, reuse it. If it gets really beat up, there is a part number on it. I'll go ahead and post that now. And then if you want, you can go ahead and have a fresh one if for any reason you think the old one's going to be bad. But, I mean, I'm coming up on like my 5th or 6th transmission change here over the life of this vehicle, and I'm still on the same gasket. Knock on wood, mine doesn't leak. Hey, I figured I'd just show you the filter really quick, because I could see somebody getting a little jacked up on that. So, there's my new filter. I went ahead and used a Wix. Not that it really matters that much, but that's what I used. What I wanted to show you is once you redo that seal, I mean, it's a fresh new seal. And again, they're only really made to be used once. So that initial time that you put this in, if you try to push it in there, you're gonna be fucking trying for a little while, you know. I use a little mallet. Not that a big mallet wouldn't work, but this one's a lot more manageable. And again, because I'm right-handed, I basically set it into place, and I kind of hold it like that with my right hand, and then right there I tap with my mallet. And as you can see, it put just the slightest little nick into it, because I had to hit it pretty good, you know? Like, as I'm holding it, I kind of like just slightly wobble it as I'm tapping, and then as I'm tap, I'm like tap, 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 and I do it a little bit harder and a little bit harder and a little bit harder, and then once you get the right amount of pressure, or you hit hard enough, it'll just go right in, and then it's like kind of remember like how much pressure that took, and like 1, 2, 3, 4 with that same amount of pressure, and it seats. You'll kind of know when it seats. It won't go anymore, and it has a different sound. It sounds solid when you hit it, as opposed to when it's, retracting up into that bore.